The next topic in LTI systems is transfer function. Transfer function. So transfer function is nothing but it is denoted by capital H, right? For continuous time systems, it is capital H of omega, and it is nothing but the Fourier transform of impulse response H of t. It is nothing but the Fourier transform of H of t. This is for the continuous time systems. For discrete time systems, it is H of e power j omega, which is nothing but dtft or the discrete time Fourier transform of H of n. Discrete time Fourier transform of H of n. Discrete time Fourier transform of H of n. Now we'll see how we'll arrive at the transfer function. Now f of t is the input, we are considering, and h of t is the corresponding impulse response of the LTI system. For a given input and impulse response, we can find the response of the LTI system, which is nothing but convolution of input and impulse response. Now the convolution of input and impulse response in the form of an integral is written as minus infinite to infinite f of tau h of t minus tau d tau, right? Now if I apply Fourier transform, this is the continuous time functions, right? Y of t, h of t and f of t are continuous time functions. Now if I apply Fourier transform on both sides, what will happen? Y of omega, right? Fourier transform of y of t is y of omega, and this is the convolution in time domain. What is the convolution property of Fourier transform? Convolution in time domain is equivalent to multiplication in Fourier domain. So Fourier transform of f of t convolved with h of t will be multiplication of individual Fourier transforms. So Fourier transform of f of t is f of omega, and Fourier transform of h of t is h of omega. So y of omega, h of omega and f of omega are nothing but Fourier transforms of y, h and f, right? This is after applying Fourier transform, this is how it will look like. Now h of omega is equals to, I'll take this f of omega to the other side, y of omega by f of omega. That is ratio of transforms of output to input. These are nothing but transform of the output and transform of the input. So it is nothing but the ratio of transforms of output to input. It is also called transfer function. Transfer function. Transfer function means it transfers the input, it transforms the input, not transfer, it transforms the input into output. That is the system function or the transfer function. It is called system function or transfer function. When f of t is equals to delta of t, then what is the corresponding Fourier transform of f of t? It is 1, right? Fourier transform of delta of t is 1. When f of omega is equals to 1, h of omega will become y of omega. That is the transfer function or the frequency response of the LTI system. Transfer function or the frequency response of the LTI system is the transform of its response when the input is a unit impulse function. When the input is just the unit impulse function, then the transfer function of the LTI system is nothing but transform of its response. It is nothing but the transform of its response. So this is the formula we have to remember. H of omega is equal to Fourier transform of is nothing but Fourier transform of h of t. This is for continuous time, and for discrete time it is h of e power j omega is equals to dtft of h of n, dtft of h of n. So based on this, we will do some problems. Find the response of the LTI system with impulse response h of t is equal to u of t and input x of t is equal to e power minus at u of t. So my input is e power minus at u of t and the output and the impulse response is u of t. So what will be my response? Y of t is convolution of h of t and x of t. So the convolution integral is going to be minus infinite to infinite h of tau x of t minus tau d tau. So in place of h of t or h of tau, I can write u of tau, right? H of tau, that means in place of t I am going to substitute tau, that is u of tau. In place of x of t I have x of t minus tau. So my x of t minus tau is going to be e power minus a into t minus tau into u of t minus tau. So that is what is written here, right? Now my u of tau exists only for tau greater than 0, right? It exists only for tau greater than 0. And u of t minus tau, it exists for t minus tau greater than 0, right? That means tau is less than t. Tau is less than t. Now if you combine these two conditions, what does it say? My tau is greater than 0 and less than t. So the limits for tau is going to be 0 to t. Now I'm going to reduce this equation. My new limits are now 0 to t. Instead of u of tau and u of t minus tau, in these limits this is nothing but 1, and I have e power minus a into t minus tau d tau. Now I'll integrate that. If I integrate e power minus ax, what will happen? I'll get e power minus ax divided by minus a. Before that, I can reduce this equation, right? What happens? I will make this into two terms, e power minus at and e power a tau. This is e power a tau. Now e power at is independent of the integration variable tau, so it is a constant. So I can get e power at outside, and what is left? Integral 0 to t e power a tau d tau, right? This is what is left. That is what is left. Now I'll integrate e power a tau with respect to tau. What will I get? E power a tau by a. That is my integration of e power a tau, and my lower and upper limits are 0 to t. Now let me substitute these limits here. Now I'll have e power minus at. When I substitute the upper limit, I have e power at minus, when I substitute the lower limit, e power 0, 1 divided by a. Now if I multiply this e power minus at inside, I'll get 1 minus e power minus at divided by a. So this is the response of the LTI system with this impulse and this input, right? So the same thing can be, we can directly come to this position. Y of t is nothing but s of t in this case, right? It is nothing but s of t because my input is unit step. I can consider this as my input and this as my impulse response. They can be interchanged according to commutative property. So what is the formula for S of t? S of t is minus infinite to t h of tau, that is e power minus a tau d tau in u tau. Now u into u of tau. So I can write it as u of tau exists only for tau 0 to infinity, right? So 0 to, my upper limit is already t, e power minus a tau d tau. Now if I integrate it, I have e power minus a tau divided by minus a from 0 to t, that is e power minus at minus 1 divided by minus a. So both of them are same. So I can either do it in this way or I can do it in this way, right? Both are same. Now we'll go to the next problem. Find the impulse response of the system described by differential equation. Now I am describing my system, my continuous time system, with a differential equation. This is the differential equation I am using to describe my system. From this I have to find the impulse response. Impulse response is h of t. I have to find this. So if I know h of omega, my impulse response is nothing but, I can just take inverse Fourier transform and find f of t, h of t. I can just find inverse Fourier transform and get my impulse response. Now to find h of omega, what should I do? I should apply Fourier transform on both sides for this given differential equation. So first I'll take the differential equation and I'll apply Fourier transform on both sides. Now what is the Fourier transform property, time differentiation property of Fourier transform? According to Fourier transform's time differentiation property, d by dt of x of t or f of t is nothing but j omega into x of omega, right? If I have d power n to dt power n, then I'll have here j omega whole power n. Now here I have d by dt of y of t. So Fourier transform of d by dt of y of t is j omega into y of omega. Then a is a constant. Fourier transform of y of t is y of omega, and Fourier transform of x of t is x of omega. Right? Now I'll take y of omega common on the left hand side. If I take y of omega common on the left hand side, what is left? I have a plus j omega, and that is equals to x of omega. Now I'll get this x of omega to the denominator on the left hand side, and y of omega, a plus j omega, I'll take it to the right hand side. So what will happen? Y of omega divided by x of omega is equals to 1 by a plus j omega. So this is nothing but y by x, output divided by input, is nothing but my h of omega, my transfer function h of omega, that is 1 by a plus j omega. Now I have got my h of omega, but I have to find the impulse response of the system. Impulse response means h of t. Now how will I obtain my h of t from h of omega? Just by taking the inverse Fourier transform. So I'll apply inverse Fourier transform on both sides, right? This is how I'll apply inverse Fourier transform on both sides. If you remember the if you remember, there is one important Fourier transform pair. What is the pair? Important Fourier transform pair? E power minus at into, let me write it here, e power minus at u of t. What is the Fourier transform for this pair? The Fourier transform of the pair is 1 by a plus j omega, right? Now inverse Fourier transform of 1 by a plus j omega is nothing but e power minus at into u of t. And on the left hand side I have inverse Fourier transform of h of omega, which is nothing but h of t. So my impulse response is e power minus at into u of t. So this is how I can find the impulse response from the given differential equation. What did I do? I have taken the given differential equation, applied Fourier transform on both sides, and found out the system function. Now I am going to apply inverse Fourier transform for the system function, and then I'll obtain my impulse response. That is how we can find the impulse response when a system is defined by its differential equation. Right? The next problem we'll look at it. Now this is the differential equation that is given. This is the equation that describes the system, and we have to find the impulse response, and also we should find the response of the system when when the input is e power minus t into u of t. We have to find the impulse response, then we have to find the response for the given input. So what we'll do, the first part of this question is finding the impulse response. The procedure to find the impulse response is same as the previous question. So first we'll take the given differential equation and then apply Fourier transform, find the system function, and apply inverse Fourier transform. If I apply Fourier transform for this and simplify it, we will get the system function, and then we'll apply inverse Fourier transform. We'll apply inverse Fourier transform and we'll get the impulse response. This is the first part. So let us first do the first part. So take the differential equation and apply the Fourier transform. If you remember the Fourier transform we have used, this is the Fourier transform pair we have, Fourier transform property that we have used. D power n by dt power n into x of t as the Fourier transform, j omega power n into x of omega. Now here we have d square y of t by dt square. So what is the corresponding Fourier transform for this? It is going to be j omega whole square into y of omega plus 4 is a constant, d by dt of y of t, the Fourier transform will be j omega into y of omega plus 3 is a constant. Fourier transform of y of t is y of omega, and that is equal to j omega into x of omega plus 2 into x of omega. Now we will simplify this equation. On the left hand side I'll take y of omega common, on right hand side I'll take x of omega common. So this is what is left after I take y of omega and x of omega as common terms. Now x of omega I'll take it to the left hand side, and this term I'll take it to the right hand side. So what do I have? Now y of omega divided by x of omega is equal to j omega plus 2 divided by j omega square plus 4j omega plus 3. So this is nothing but my transfer function h of omega, right? This is nothing but my transfer function h of omega. Here the denominator is a quadratic expression. So I am trying to rationalize this denominator or factorize this denominator. How do I factorize this denominator? I can write the denominator as j omega whole square plus j omega plus 3j omega plus 3, right? Now j omega, if I take common in the first two terms, I have j omega into j omega plus 1. In the third and fourth terms, if I take 3 common, I have j omega plus 1. Now this is nothing but j omega plus 1 into j omega plus 3. And this is how I can factorize the given expression. Now I have h of omega. To find the impulse response, I should take the inverse of h of omega. Now before finding the inverse of h of omega, I will try and represent in terms of partial fractions. So I'll try and represent this given term as partial fractions. Now I'll write this term as a by j omega plus 1 plus b by j omega plus 3. Now if I take the LCM of this, what will I get in the denominator? In the denominator I'll get j omega plus 1 into j omega plus 3, right? This is my denominator, and my numerator is going to be a j omega plus 3a plus b j omega plus b, right? This is the expression if I take the LCM. Now my h of omega is equal to this, and my h of omega is equal to this. My denominator is same in both cases. Now I'll equate the numerators. What is the coefficient of j omega here? It is 1, and here it is a plus b. So a plus b equals to 1, and the constant coefficients are 3a plus b here, 3a plus b, and here I have 2. Now equating the coefficients of j omega and equating the coefficients of the constant. So I got 2 equations. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract them. So b and b gets cancelled. Minus 2a is equals to minus 1. 1 minus 2 is minus 1. So what is my a? A is equal to 1 by 2. So a is equals to 1 by 2. Now when a is equal to 1 by 2, I'll take the first expression, substitute a is equal to 1 by 2. 1 by 2 plus b is equal to 1. So b is also equal to 1 by 2. So I found out my values of a and b. A is 1 by 2, b is 1 by 2. I'll just substitute them here. So I took 1 by 2 common, and this is what is left of my h of omega, right? That is my h of omega. Now what I'll do, I'll apply inverse Fourier transform on both sides. If I apply inverse Fourier transform on both sides, what will happen? Fourier transform inverse of h of omega is h of t, and 1 by 2 is a constant, so I'm writing it as it is. And inverse Fourier transform of 1 by j omega plus 1 is nothing but e power minus t into u of t, right? That this is in the form of 1 by a plus j omega. The inverse Fourier transform for 1 by a plus j omega is e power minus at u of t. In the first term, a is nothing but 1. So instead of a, I have 1. So e power minus t into u of t. In the second term, instead of a, I have 3. So e power minus 3t u of t. So this is my impulse response. Then the first part is done. The second part is we have to find the response of the system. So let me erase whatever we have written here. and we'll carry on with the second part. So how do we find the response of the system? So to find the response of the system, that is y of t, I have to find y of t. One method is to convolve h of t and x of t, right? If I convolve these two, I'll get my response. That is one method. But convolution will be complicated because I have to take x of tau and here h of t minus tau, and I have to integrate it, right? So it becomes a little complicated. So what I am going to do is I am going to do this. I'll try and calculate y of omega, which is nothing but h of omega multiplied with x of omega, right? I can find the x of omega from this, and I know my h of omega. I know my h of omega, this or this expression. I can use whichever is suitable. So then I'll get my y of omega, and then I'll take inverse Fourier transform to get my y of t. So this is a easier and less complicated method. So we'll go for the second method. So first, what is the input? X of t is e power minus t into u of t. E power minus t into u of t. So the corresponding x of omega is 1 by a plus j omega. Here a is equal to 1, so 1 by j omega plus 1. And my h of omega is I'm taking this expression, h of omega. So I'm going to multiply h of omega and x of omega, which gives my y of omega. So simplifying this, I have 1 by j omega plus 1. So I'll multiply this with the first term and with the second term. So what will I get? 1 by 2 into 1 by j omega plus 1 whole square plus 1 by j omega plus 1 into 1 by j omega plus 3. Now, what I'm going to do, I am going to do partial fractions. Whatever we have done at this step, similar procedure, I'm going to perform partial fractions for this term alone. Just this term, I'm going to perform partial fractions. Suppose that I'm going to write this as a by j omega plus 1 plus b by j omega plus 3, right? If I write this and take LCM, it's going to be 3a plus 3j omega plus bj omega plus b on my numerator, and that is equals to 1 here, right? There's only 1. So I'll take the constants. The constants is 3a plus b, that is equal to 1, and my coefficients of j omega is going to be there's an a here, right? Not 3. Coefficients of j omega is going to be a plus b is equals to 0. Now if I subtract, I'll have 2a is equals to 1 and a is equals to 1 by 2. When a is equal to 1 by 2, b is equals to a negative 1 by 2 because a plus b is equals to 0. So I'll substitute a is equal to 1 by 2 and b is equal to minus 1 by 2. So if you look here, 1 by 2 into the first term as it is I'm writing, in place of second term I am having this expression. A is 1 by 2 and B is minus 1 by 2, right? A is 1 by 2 and B is minus 1 by 2. So in place of A, I am going to write 1 by 2. In place of B, I am going to write negative 1 by 2. So negative 1 by 2 of 1 by j omega plus 3 plus 1 by 2 into 1 by j omega plus 1. And this half is coming from here. I am separating the half here. Then now it is easy to take. It is very easy to take inverse Fourier transform. My expression, if you remember, it is e power minus at into u of t. It has the Fourier transform. Or let me write it in some other place. E power minus at u of t has the Fourier transform 1 by a plus j omega, right? 1 by a plus j omega. Now if I apply frequency differentiation, property, what will happen? If I apply frequency differentiation, what does it state? Frequency differentiation, d by d omega of x of omega will have, what will be the time domain signal? It is going to be minus jt into x of t, right? That is my frequency differentiation property, x of t. So what is my x of t here? E power minus at u of t. So minus jt into e power minus at u of t will have the Fourier transform. Differentiation of 1 by a plus j omega. That is nothing but a plus j omega square. In the numerator, I have a plus j omega into differentiation of 1, which is 0, minus 1 into differentiation of a plus j omega. Differentiation of a plus j omega is nothing but j. Now minus j and minus j gets cancelled. I have, on the right hand side, I have 1 by a plus j omega whole square, and on the left hand side I have t into e power minus at u of t. Now if I apply inverse Fourier transform on both sides, I'll have for the first term 1 by 2 is common. 1 by 2 is a constant, so I'll just write 1 by 2, and inverse Fourier transform of 1 by j omega plus 1 whole square. So here in place of a, if I substitute 1, it will be 1 by a plus j omega whole square. What is the inverse of this? It is t into, in place of a I have 1, t into e power minus t u of t, right? t into e power minus t into u of t. That is my first term. My second term is going to be 1 by 2 is there, okay, and this 1 by 2 I have taken it constant, so it's outside, and this 1 by 2 I am writing it here, and Fourier transform inverse of 1 by 1 plus j omega. It is nothing but e power minus t into u of t, and for the last term it is 1 by 2 into e power minus 3t u of t. So that is how we can find the response. My response is nothing but y of t. For the given input x of t, how can I find y of t? Right? This is the procedure.